Tyray and Carmella. I guess I should say technically it would be Tyray and Christian now in this last episode. So Tyray finds out that this girl he thinks he's been talking to for the past 4 years isn't even who he's been talking to. So at the end of the last episode, one of the producers sat him down, was like, hey, we kept trying to get a hold of Carmella, to participate in the show and everything and talk to us. And she kept ducking and dodging us nonstop. And finally, after us trying a million times, she finally answered the phone. And then come to find out, it wasn't a woman, it was a man. And he reveals that, hey, I'm not who I said I am. My name's actually Christian, not Carmella. And apparently he's just been taking advantage this whole time of Tyray. So here's the thing though. The producers was like, hey, I can sit you down. I can show you the audio so you can know for yourself like what he said and that this isn't Carmella. And instead of listening to the audio, like if that was me in his situation, I'd want to listen to the audio so I knew without a doubt that this is what it is. So before Tyray even got an opportunity to answer the producer's question about if he wanted to listen to the audio, he just gets up and he starts walking out, and the producer starts playing the audio regardless, and you can hear him say, oh yes, this is Christian, and then like Tyray just rushed out the door as fast as possible, and it seems like he would rather live in denial than hear the audio, or he's just not ready to accept it yet. I think Tyray would just rather hold on to that tiny little slither of hope that maybe Carmella may still be real, even though all the evidence is right there, right in front of his face. But he's just choosing to look the other way and walk past all these red flags and ignore them and just see what he wants to see. And then, come to find out, he sits down and tells the producers, he finally admits that, yes, I was sending Carmella money, but I didn't think that she was using me, because I wasn't sending her that much money. I'm not gonna lie, from what I'm seeing on TV, I feel like Tyray is naive, and I feel like he has a good heart, he's a good person, like he takes care of his mom, and it seems like he puts other people before himself, and I think Tyray thinks, well, I could never do that to someone because I have empathy, and how could someone else do this to someone and sleep at night? But he's quickly learning that there are bad people out there who could give a damn less about what you're going through. So then he showed these receipts of conversations between him and Carmella, which we're now finding out is Christian, where he's like, good morning, my beautiful queen. And she's like, I just sent you a request on PayPal, so how am I going to get the money? And he says, I'm kind of broke right now. And she says, you said next week. And the fact that she's pressing him when she knows he's struggling and he's broke, pressing him for the last of his money, I think that says a lot about her true colors. And that should have been a huge red flag that he should have noticed right then and there and realized like what she was really all about. And plus the fact she's just like sending requests on PayPal without even asking him about it first. She seems like the type of person that's just gonna keep sending you CashApp requests, like, and you keep denying them, just hoping one day you might accidentally mess up and hit accept one day. Another reason why I think Tyray jumped up and walked out of the restaurant so fast when they started playing the voicemail is because Tyray was also embarrassed and ashamed, because we saw him in the last episode. He's bragging about how he's literally sexting and getting booty pictures from who we thought was Carmella, and he's sitting there giggling, and all cheesing about it, and then we find out the whole time that he's been talking to a man. And I think that's another thing that was hard for him to accept, and that's another reason why he walked off, because he didn't even really know what to say in the moment. And so Tyray sits there and decides to go meet up with his family, his brother and sister. And the thing is, his family has no idea about Carmella. They have no idea that their brother's been talking to this girl for over 4 years. He's been sending her money. So he sits down with his family and he tells them that at this restaurant, and his sister was like, man, are you kidding me? And she felt so bad. And I just want to give Tyray a big hug in that moment and just let him cry it out on my shoulder, because you can tell that Tyray's that type that holds everything in. Like, even when he wants to cry, you can just see the pain in his eyes in that moment, but he's trying to hold it in and be the strong one. And I think his sister gave him really good advice that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta tell yourself that and cry, because crying helps cleanse the soul. But I get it why Tyray's like that, because since he lost his father, he feels like he has to be the man in the house and hold the family's weight on his shoulders. So then Tyray reveals that not only has he been sending what he thought was Carmella money, but he also went out to Barbados a year ago to go see Carmella, and she ended up ghosting him. So he sits down and tells his sister and brother that not only did she break his heart, but last year, after him and Carmella were together for 3 years, he decided to go all the way out to Barbados. And he said they had really strict COVID rules at the time, so he had to quarantine for 3 days. So he quarantined for 3 days. He was spending 5 days there total. So after his 3 days, he had 2 days left, and he starts hitting up Carmella, and Carmella completely ignored him and ghosted him the whole time. Which is giving me like Caesar and Maria vibes when Caesar went all the way out to that like nice resort and Maria completely ghosted him. And it just ruined his whole vacation because he was so depressed he didn't even want to enjoy it. And Tyray says he's watched Catfish before, so he should know better. Like, Tyray should have went back and watched some older season of 90 Day Fiancé and looked at, like, Caesar and Yolanda's story and took some notes from that for red flags to look out for, because he completely ignored all the red flags in this situation. And even after all this, even after he heard, like, a few seconds of the audio phone call when Christian is admitting, yes, my name's Christian, I'm a guy, and saying that Carmella is not real, Tyray's still holding on to hope that she may be real. He's like, I'm just hoping she might text me and just say, you know, I got hacked, somebody had my phone, this is just a joke. He does not want to accept it. He has a lack of acceptance right now, and it just seems like he's trying to make excuses for everything that she's doing instead of accepting it. You know, he's like the type of dude that, you know, you go cheat on him, he'll be like, okay, she just kissed him, she just put his mouth on, but she didn't swallow. He'll say stuff like that to justify or make it not as big as it really is, to make it for why it's right. And it's not right at the end of the day. And there's no excuses for why this kind of behavior should be acceptable for him to accept in his life. And, like, there's plenty of other people out there. Like, I hope, at least in this show, that he's able to get, like, a big platform and go find him a baddie out there. But I think a lot of this has to deal with his lack of dating experience, because, a lot of us are like, how can he fall for that? But he says that he's still a virgin at the age of 33, so I don't think he has, like, a lot of experience dating. So a lot of stuff that we learned the hard way at the age of, like, 16, 17, red flags to see, and stuff we won't put up with, I think Tyray is just unfortunately now learning, because he's just now getting out in the dating pool like that. It looks like Tyray's time on this season 90 Day Fiancé may be short, because it seems like his storyline's already starting to wrap up, which is sad, but hopefully maybe we might be able to get it to follow his journey with him trying to reach out to someone else. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But they show in the next episode a preview where his sister was like, have you tried to do a reverse image search? Like, if he would have went on the show Catfish, that would have been the first thing they would have did for him. And for someone who watches Catfish, he claims, he says he's never done that before. So his sister does it, and then she's like, wait a minute, this is an escort website. So they were getting the pictures from an escort website, which makes sense, because they were able to get booty pictures and all those sexy pictures to send to Tyray and make it more convincing, because they're like, oh, I'm willing to send you all these private photos, because if they're just stealing pictures from someone's social media, if someone wants booty pictures, it's going to be hard to get booty pictures. But since they got those pictures off an escort website, they were able to sit there and get booty pictures and all the stuff that they had posted on there to make the whole character that they came up with, Carmella, more convincing at the end of the day. And honestly, I'm going to be shocked that they're out here trying to sell those pictures too. So I feel for the girl, whoever pictures they stole. I tried to do a reverse image search myself, but of course, since Carmella's name's already out there on 90 Day Fiancé, all the pictures are coming back to like 90 Day Fiancé articles. I could not find the escort website, but I guess we'll see in the next episode. What would be interesting if they're able to track down who the real girl really is and sit her down and see what she thinks about all that. I would love to see. But that's it for this video, guys. This video is sponsored by Temu. You can use my code FAV31796 for 30% off your first order as a new user. You can also support me on Patreon, and these are other ways you can support the channel while I'm demonetized. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.